Well, there was a huge desire among some youth leaders at Chapel Rock Christian Church to help our students understand the mission of God as a lifestyle, as opposed to just taking a mission trip once in a while to go serve. And along with that, we then thought, well, we could include other church groups and invite them to come and serve with us right here in Indianapolis. And over the years, we just worked with more and more groups and saw that it was beneficial both to the city ministries and churches, but also to the groups that came. And we realized we were developing an even deeper love for the local church and just wanting to help them understand how they could see the mission of God as a lifestyle. And so our ministry changed over the years from just simple service projects to a way of just preparing people to not only engage in service, but spend a considerable amount of time thinking, praying, talking with each other, hearing from speakers, being challenged to say, you know, there is more to it than just coming and swinging a hammer, but we really need to see what God could show us to do back home.
God has placed us in Indianapolis. It's an asset. And so we get to be a part of what God's already doing, and we get to partner churches from all over the state and all over the nation up with our friends here in Indianapolis that are doing some really neat things, not just to come and do service, but to come and, yes, be a benefit with their hands working with, but also to think through what does it look like for brokenness to be fixed, for the crazy things with our world that make no sense, to make sense out of them through the gospel.
We do more than service projects. People may come to us and think that that's the first thing, but we're about equipping. So a typical time with us, given if it's just a couple days or a whole week, we're gonna have devotions, we're gonna have meals together, we're gonna have questions that people can go after and talk with each other about. We're gonna have group times with that, with their youth leaders or their teammates or other adults. We're going to have a service element to it. A good chunk of the day, during the middle of the day, you're going to be out maybe roofing, you might be out doing some cement work or something like that. But even during those times, we're sitting there talking, we're facilitating a discussion, but it's really all about just equipping so that you'll go back home and you'll love your neighbor where you're at.
We want to be about doing the behind the scenes work so that a team leader can focus on the discipleship of their team members. So we are going to do all the planning for food and housing and tools and site leadership, etc., so that when a group comes and works with us, they can focus on their people because they have relationships with those students or those adults.
We can provide something that is just almost very difficult for an individual church to do on their own, and they spend so much time and energy with all the details that they don't have enough time left or enough energy left to pour into each other. So if we can do those things for them and allow them to really concentrate on the relationships, discipleship, and mentoring, we feel like we've provided a service that is valuable.
I think there's value in going outside of your norm, going outside of your day in and day out routine. And so coming to work for a weekend or a week gives you a new perspective. And so it's presenting these opportunities or presenting these experiences to groups so that they can think about, man, what could that look like for me where I'm from?
Hopefully, during the time that they've been with us, they've gotten a little bit of that. They've been able to see a little bit. Some of their mind might have been changed. They might have a little bit grander spectrum. And then when they go back home, hopefully they might be able to help some other people see that, or they might be able to start living a little different. So when they're just sitting in their home, they're gonna be able to look at their neighbor, whoever it is, and be able to figure out one little way that they might be able to help them and show God's love.
The ultimate goal that I would have for our ministry is that one day we would no longer be needed. Imagine a scenario where every local body of believers so lived together in a way that honored Jesus and loved their neighbors. Imagine that every local member of that congregation understood their gifts and were using their gifts to serve and love each other. The world would notice.